Hey, everybody, it's Mark Pruitt with the Defiance Daily Show here in the middle of nowhere. Undisclosed location, as I like to stay. Anyway, it's December 7th, 2025, Pearl Harbor Day. It's evening time. It's cold outside. Got a fire in the fireplace. I love evenings like this. And anyway, I wanted to jump in and have a conversation with you guys. Feeling reflective about a number of things. First of all, today being Pearl Harbor Day. Thinking back, I'm obviously not old enough to remember Pearl Harbor. Maybe some of you thought I might be. No, my parents were kids, like 6, 7 years old or whatever when Pearl Harbor happened. Maybe a little 8 or 9. But it's important to remember Pearl Harbor, regardless of, I'm not talking about any of this stuff. There's a lot of things we now know about Pearl Harbor, what led up to it. There's a lot of conspiracies. There's a lot of conspiracy theories. There's also some things that we now know. They're not conspiracies. We actually have evidence of, we're very much more aware now of what led up to Pearl Harbor. That notwithstanding, that does not change the fact that a bunch of brave young men, sailors, Marines, I believe some soldiers too, obviously there's an army base there on the island, and there were a lot of servicemen and people that were killed that day serving their country. And they had no idea when they woke up that morning what was coming, what was about to happen, the hell that was about to be unleashed by Imperial Japan, by Tojo. But it happened. It was tragic. It was horrible. Thank God, praise Jesus, that America defeated the enemy, and we're not speaking Japanese today. So again, I want to remember the fallen. If you've never been to Hawaii, if you've never been to the Arizona Memorial, if it's something that you could do, I would highly encourage you do that. It's an amazing place. And I am old enough to remember when survivors of Pearl Harbor were still alive, and hearing them tell their stories of what happened that day, where they were, what they saw, what they did, the heroism they witnessed. Some of them heroes themselves. I think it's important that we as a nation remember our fallen, the survivors, those who gave all, those who served, those who sacrificed for freedom. And again, I'm not going to get into all the, let's just, for benefit of this conversation, the people that served this nation and enlisted to serve the country and defended freedom, I think it's important that we all remember them. I think it's respectful. I think that it's healthy. I think it's good for a culture. I think it's very healthy for a culture to remember the fallen, remember our heroes, and tell the story. I just think that that's really important. So thank you for letting me share and start out the show with remembering Pearl Harbor and what happened that day. If you don't know a whole lot, I encourage you. There's some great books. Obviously, there's some movies. You have to understand with movies, there's a lot of theatrical liberty and things like that. But overall, in general, there's some good movies out there, tell some great stories, and actually can recreate that horrific day and those events and what happened. And I think it's important that we not forget. I hope you're teaching your kids. If you're a grandparent, I hope you're teaching your grandkids. It's important. So anyway, in addition to that, I was listening to the Sean Ryan podcast. I love Sean. Sean, he's got a great story. He's a really an interesting guy. I believe Sean's the real deal. I think the man is sincere. I don't think he's perfect. I don't expect him to be perfect. I don't put him on a pedestal. He'd be the last person that would want anybody to think he was perfect or to be put on a pedestal. No, I respect Sean for who he is, whatever flaws he may have, or just the human condition like we all are in. I think with everything being said, I think Sean truly works at being a good person. I know that he has found the Lord in the last 12, 18 months or so, and he's on his spiritual journey, his walk with Christ. And he has a genuine, deep desire to walk the Christian walk in faith. And I believe that his show is a tool that he has found, that the creator of the universe, that God Almighty has put in his lap, and he can bring topics to light. He's got a tremendous following. He was one of the most successful, largest podcasts in the world today. And he has some great guests, great topics. I love it. I'm a big fan. I love watching his show. I love listening to his guests. And, Sean has I think one of the reasons why Sean is so popular is because he's not polished. He's just Sean Ryan. He's just real. He's authentic. He doesn't put on any airs. The thing that I really respect about Sean is that he is fearless about saying, I don't know what that means. What do you mean by that? What is that? I love that. I love that. And I love that about Sean. He's just genuine. And in a world where there's not very many genuine people, when you find one, I like to recognize that. And so anyway, if you've never heard the Sean Ryan Show, if you've never tuned in, please, I encourage you, check it out. It's a great podcast. It sure beats watching TV. It sure beats the hell out of watching Fox News or CNN or MSNBC or any of these news channels. And so anyway, yeah, you'll get an education, that's for sure. Anyway, I was listening to the show, and it's one of those latest podcasts with Mike Durant. If you're familiar with Black Hawk Down, the film or the story, it was the events in Mogadishu some 30 years ago, or longer than that, probably. Good Lord, 89, 90, something like that, I believe. Man, I can't believe that much time has passed. And anyway, it's an incredible story. Amazing. Medal of Honors came out of those events that day. And Mike obviously ended up as a POW. He was a Black Hawk pilot. And he has an incredible story. He's an amazing man, a hero, no doubt. And I don't use the word or the term hero for everyone that's, beat a disease or been bullied, or I'm very selective when I use the term hero. I think that hero is a very specific word that is rare. It's very rare. But he is a hero, and he tells a story. And he tells a story about, I apologize. I thought I had turned my phone down. I did not. And very unprofessional of me, but I'm going to do that now. I'm not even going to stop the recording. We'll just done. I thought the interview was apropos, especially being what is going on, current events right now with everything happening in Minnesota. all the Somalis, what's happening to our country, out of control immigration. That's illegal and legal immigration. They're both completely out of control. They've been out of control for decades. And it is done, I believe, irreparable damage to America. That's just a fact. It's not emotional. It's not a guess. I believe it's quantifiable. I believe that you can prove that immigration in the last 50 years or so has done irreparable damage to our country, to our nation. And you've seen the changes in where we're at today, and we're literally on the brink. We're peering into the abyss. It's very possible that we are past the point of no return, and our options now to restore personal liberty and freedom are a lot more limited now. And a big reason for that is immigration from third world and developing countries, from shitholes. That's what they are. Literally, I mean, you look at a country like India, they have poop festivals. It's funny. I sent some video to Travis last week because we talk about this. And when I first mentioned it, he didn't believe me. He thought I was kidding. Like me, wanted to kid very much. No, not me. Anyway, Travis knows me very well. He thought I was making it up about the poop festivals in India. And when I say poop, I'm not talking about cow patty tossing. I'm talking about human excrement, huge pits of human shit that they all get into and throw at each other. If you've never seen it, it is one of the most disgusting things you've ever seen in your life. So anyway, these are literal shitholes. Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nigeria, go down the list. Mogadishu is a city, but Somalia, sub-Saharan Africa, any of those countries. You bring that type of debris into your country, especially a Western culture, a civilized culture, and you're going to destroy it. If you bring enough of them in, imagine a giant swimming pool, and you took an eyedropper and you took a drop of urine, and you dropped one drop in that swimming pool. There's no effect. But if you bring out a couple of fire engines with big fire hoses full of piss and turn them on into the swimming pool, it doesn't take very long, and that's what you're not getting in that pool. And the reason you're not is because it's filthy, it's disgusting, it's not a swimming pool anymore. It's now a latrine. It's a sewage plant. And that's what we've done here in America now. We've effectively turned America into a litter box. And if you look around and see what has gone on here, it not only is it disgusting. What I find interesting is what we have learned to just be okay with. You guys know what Buc-ee's is. Buc-ee's started here in Texas. It's a great story. It's an entrepreneurial story. It's a success story. It's America. Imagine a gas station and if you've never been to a Buc-ee's, I encourage you to go to a Buc-ee's. They truly are amazing. Anyway, it's a big giant. They consider themselves, and they probably are, the largest gas station convenience store in the world. And they've got multiple locations throughout Texas and a lot of other states now. So you're starting to see them in lots of different places. It's an amazing business model, and it's made the owners extremely financially wealthy and secure, and good for them. I think that's the American dream, right? Well, anyway, there is a Buc-ee's location on Interstate 45. I-45 is it's the interstate between Houston and Dallas. It runs north and south. It's in Texas, and it runs between, actually goes all the way down to Galveston, but It's the interstate. It is the corridor between, the road travel between Houston and Dallas. Right in the middle between Houston and Dallas, which is in the middle of the country, literally. I mean, it's cattle country. It's beautiful. It's country. It's almost as country as you can get. It's in the middle of East, sort of East Central Texas, not East Texas. It's more Central Texas, but it's in the middle of the country. And I remember when they first built that Buc-ee's, I used to stop there a lot because I do a lot of driving back and forth. I just do a lot of driving anyway. And Buc-ee's always lived up to its reputation. It's clean. The bathrooms are immaculate. I mean, whatever you want, food, drink, any type of crap that you want to poison yourself with. But they got it's a store. You can buy clothes. I mean, it's really an amazing place. And it has tons of staff. You never wait in line. It really is an experience. It's amazing. Well, I've noticed just in the last 3 or 4 years, particularly, maybe 5, about 5 years, starting with, especially it really got turned up with the Biden administration. I had to quit going. You walk into that Buc-ee's now, and it's a third world country. I'm not exaggerating. All you smell is curry and body odor. It is, name a third world country, and that's what's walking around. That's what you hear, all the jibber jabber. You don't hear English being spoken. There's no white people. It's true. Not only is it unbelievable, it's when you stop and think about it, it's quite terrifying. Because this is in Madisonville, Texas. This is not Houston. This is not Sugar Land. This is not Dallas. This is not Austin. This is in Madisonville, Texas. Where are all these? Where are they from? Where are they going to? What the hell is going on? And this is Texas. Thank you, Greg Abbott. And yes, I'm not going to go into all the details, but this lays right at the feet of Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott is a globalist piece of shit, and he would never win an election if it wasn't for Fox News. And if Donald Trump would quit endorsing that piece of shit, it'd be very much appreciated. Thank you. So if somebody knows a president, would you tell him to knock it off? Because he's killing Texas. He's killing Texas. Anyway, vote for Doc Chambers in the primary coming up. Doc Chambers for president. By the way, little quick commercial. He'd make not for president. I say president. I mean governor of Texas. Doc Chambers for governor of Texas. Please look into him. I hope Abbott's his machine, and because of, I'm just going to say it. No, before I say it. No, I don't want to say it. Because of low information, low IQ Republican voters, which seem to be the majority, because that's how we keep getting Greg Abbott's, Lindsey Graham's, John Cornyn's, Dan Crenshaw's. There's no other explanation, guys. I mean, we've got to come to terms with what's going on in our own house. Most Republican voters watch Fox News, listen to Sean Hannity, and just get propagandized. And one of the things is they sell Greg Abbott. I don't know how that all works, who gets paid off, but that's part of the problem. Anyway, I digress. Don't want to go down that path. The point being is, we have an immigration problem in America. Not only illegal immigration, we have a legal immigration, massive problem. We need to call a moratorium. I mean, a full stop, shut down all immigration, period. Stop for a minimum of 10 years, probably a minimum of 25 years. And then open immigration only to Western European, Scandinavian countries, and that's it. uh, Australia, New Zealand, but we have to stop. We have to start getting honest. We have to deal with realities. We need to be logical. And I don't know if that's enough to save America. I think we must start removing all H-1B visa holders from third world countries, developing nations. I personally believe we should start a denaturalization process. We need to take a look at all naturalized citizens from third world countries, take a very close look at them, and consider denaturalizing a large majority of them. I really do believe this because multiculturalism, diversity is it is so destructive. I know this is not popular to say, but it's true. Diversity is the enemy. I think we can prove this with the Bible. And I hate to bring the Bible out, people over the head with the Bible, because a lot of times people can make the Bible say whatever they want to say. But let's give a history lesson from the Old Testament. The Tower of Babel. How did the Lord God stop the construction of the Tower of Babel? Very simply, he introduced diversity, and that shut it down. It shut it down. If you don't know the story of the Tower of Babel, go read it. You need to read it yourself. It was evil, and God wanted it shut down. And all he did, he didn't have to rain down fire like he did in Sodom and Gomorrah. All he had to do was introduce diversity, and it just shut it down, because diversity destroys. Diversity shuts things down. It destroys progress. Diversity is the enemy to a culture. And so it's time that men start standing up and telling the truth about these things. And I'm not afraid to say these things. I'm at an age, I'm in a point in my life. I don't care what anybody says about me. I don't care what people think about me. I don't care if people call me racist. I don't care. I don't give a crap. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to tell the truth. And I get it. Most people are averse to the truth. Most people are offended by truth. They were offended by Christ. That's why they killed him. He was the truth. Christ was truth in human form. 100% God, 100% man. He was truth. He was living. Christ was literally living truth. And they killed him for it. So I understand the truth is not popular. The truth divides. The truth separates. The truth is not popular. The truth is ugly oftentimes. And it's very, very difficult to deal with sometimes. It's uncomfortable. And like I said, the truth makes a lot of people mad. Then you have to wonder about, well, who gets mad by the truth? It's a great question. And you need to be observant. And you need to watch people who do get upset by the truth and just make a little mental note. Why is the truth upsetting them? Yeah, you need to take an inventory of people around you and those that get disturbed by the truth. Take an inventory. Get your little checklist. Maybe there's some people you need to start separating yourself from, because the truth will set you free, but it will also cause you some difficulty, some hardship. You're going to offend people. The only people that don't offend anybody, I know people that will tell me things like, well, Mark, you're just offensive. The truth is offensive. The only people that aren't offending anybody are people that are afraid of telling the truth. When you stand on the truth, when you stand on principle, you're going to alienate people. You're going to piss people off. If you're not pissing some people off, I'm not saying about pissing everybody off. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're not pissing people off on a regular basis, especially in today's world that is so lost and so depraved, if you're not pissing people off, you're on the wrong team. You are on the wrong team. You're way off. And I don't say things or do things or believe things because I want to piss people off. That is not my goal. Some people might disagree with me, but you don't know me. You don't know my heart. I don't want to piss people off. I'm actually, believe it or not, a people person. I've been most of my life. And trying to appease people is what got me into a lot of trouble in life, and not being honest and truthful, not being a man, and not saying and doing the things that I should do. You got to be honest. You have to tell the truth, no matter who it pisses off, no matter who it upsets, no matter what it costs you. A lot of other people, they're afraid to tell the truth because of what it might cost them. Well, man, if some customers found out that I believed this man, I could lose business. That's pretty pathetic. That's why we're in the trouble we're in, is because of people like that. We're not in trouble because of evil people. We're in big trouble because there's a lot of people who aren't evil, but they don't have the balls. They don't have the balls. They're afraid. They're weak. They're weak. Don't be that. I've lived like that. Don't do that. That's where regret will come from. You got to be bold. You got to stand for truth. And I promise you, when you do that, you're going to upset people. You're going to upset family members, but you're going to piss people off. That's when you're going to know you're doing something right. So anyway, I just love this interview with Sean. Interviewing Mike Durant about his experience as a POW in Mogadishu to these subhuman animals, these Somalians that have now invaded the United States, and we're finding all kinds of things out. If we don't deport every one of these animals, and no, I don't believe there's any good ones. I don't. I'm sorry. Look, my instinct as a man is to protect. It's not to be emotional. It's not to be egalitarian. That's what women are for. That's what they do. That's why they shouldn't vote. That's why they shouldn't be involved in this conversation, because they are egalitarian. They are females in their maternal instinct, in their beautiful maternal instinct. Thank God for their beautiful maternal instinct. But that does not equip them for things like this, of this nature. It equips them for being a nurturing mother. And you've got two little children that are fighting over a cookie, and she says no, and she breaks it in half and gives them each a half a cookie. That's what that's for. They're not designed to deal with this issue, and that is all Somalis need to go. They all need. There are no good Somalis. No, there's no breaking a cookie in half. Oh, but we got to make it fair, and we got to. No, this is man's work here. This is why men need to be in charge, because men are going to say, no, they all need to go now. Load them up. I don't care if we put them in boats, on rafts. I don't care. I don't care. Drive them to the sea. It doesn't matter to me. They all have to go now. And if they don't go, well, then we do it another way. And that way is very ugly, but we'll do it that way. They have to go. That's just the beginning. We have lots of Muslims, same thing. I mean, we can go down the list. They've got to go. They have to go. I know this is unpopular. I know this upsets a lot of people, and I know it upsets females. Sorry. And I know it upsets effeminate males, weak males. I know it simps. They lose their mind. But real men, I know they agree with me. And they know this is, this has to be done. Because men protect. We're responsible. We're responsible for the protection of our families, of our cultures, of our culture. We're responsible. And so we have to do whatever we have to do to save America. Too much is given, much is expected. Okay? It reminds me, and I know I've brought it up now, so I've opened the can of worms, and I'm sure females are losing their minds. Ladies are not. Ladies agree with me. But females, feminists, they lose their minds because they don't like the truth. And so when the truth is presented to them, they get emotional, irrational, and they get angry. I don't care. I just don't care. And so, I was also listening to Tim Pool's podcast earlier today, and he brought up the event that happened, I guess it was in New York last week, New York City. This young lady, this young female, I'm not going to say lady, I don't know her, but I don't think she's a lady. I think she's a female, probably a feminist. In New York City by herself on a train. It's going to be a female. She got smacked on the ass by some guy, stranger, that apparently goes around New York City swatting women on the ass when they're on public transit or whatever, walking down the street in New York City. And I was pretty proud of Tim. Tim, I don't think would fall in the category of an alpha male. I don't know if he would fall into the category of a man. I don't know. I don't know that much. I don't think Tim's a warrior. I don't think he's a Christian. I don't think that I've never seen him exude masculine tendencies or principles. It doesn't mean that he's necessarily a wimp. I don't think that he falls within the definition of a real man, but he's male. So he has a logical brain, and he's going to just, certain things are going to be common sense to him. Certain things are going to be primal. He now is, I know he's a husband, and he's now a father. So that also kicks in. So he is protective within his capacity. Like I said, I don't know if he's a warrior. He doesn't appear to be. He's never made mention of that. I don't even know if he carries a weapon or anything like that. But anyway, but he said some very interesting things, very insightful, and he was spot on accurate. And he addressed the feminists, and he goes, I'm paraphrasing here. I go listen to his podcast. I enjoy his podcast. He does a great job. He was talking to the feminists. He said, you ladies need to wake up. What are you doing on public transit in New York City, not paying attention to your surroundings, being oblivious? You're going to be assaulted. Now, and he brought up, here's one of the things that I appreciated what he said, because he's going to be accused of victim shaming. This is one of the things that feminists will do. Victim shame. They'll throw out so you tell me just because I'm a woman, I don't have a right to ride a public transit in New York City? I could just see these wild-eyed feminists. By the way, he also addressed the whole thing about conservatives. He said most female conservatives are feminists. They're full-blown feminists. They may have some conservative viewpoints, but they're full-blown feminists. And he pointed out how ridiculous that thought process is. He said, you have the right to do anything you want, but you live with the consequences of your choice. He goes, even a guy, if he's in a high crime neighborhood and he's not paying attention and he gets mugged or killed or stabbed, or that's on him. What are you doing? You can't be stupid. And so he was looking at this girl, because I think I saw her. She posted something on TikTok or something. She's a young 20-something. I think she's a college student. Oh my God. Don't get me started. What father sends their daughter to college, especially to New York City? I mean, it's guys, if you're a father, you have a daughter, your number one priority with her is to protect her, not just physically. You're there to protect her mentally. You're there to protect her honor, shall we say, her purity. Dad, you're responsible for protecting her. How are you going to protect her purity, her honor, by sending her to college? Do you know what happens in college? You probably do, but you don't want to think about it, because I get it. It's uncomfortable. Again, see, this is going to piss people off, but it's still true. But Tim went into this, and I was really proud of him, because it is something that needs to be said, because so many women today are assaulted. They're hurt. They're murdered. People are throwing gasoline on them, lighting them on fire, stabbing them in the neck, raping them. And so few people are willing to go, hey, ladies, maybe it'd be a good idea that you don't go running around these big cities by yourself. Where's your man? Whether it's your father, your brother, or your husband, where's your man? Yeah, you need a man for protection. No, you can't protect yourself. I mean, we're seeing this every day, ladies. You can't protect yourself. The one thing that Tim went down that I do disagree with, he started talking about, he said, well, ladies, maybe, you need to take some self-defense courses. That's ridiculous. Women cannot defend themselves against a man. Sorry. I don't care what kind of chick foo you take. I don't care if you're a blue belt in jujitsu, ma'am, you're not going to protect yourself against a guy. You're just not. You're going to lose all day long, and you're going to get raped. You're going to get, or worse, or you're going to get caught on fire, raped, and murdered, and whatever. I mean, this is what's going to happen to you. If you don't deal with the realities of the world you live in, if you're incapable, if your mental capacity is not able to work through and calculate this, then you really need a man, because your survivability is very low. So yeah, that's my question. When I see these females out, running around, they're walking through parking lots with their earbuds in and fumbling with their key. I'm going, where's your man? Why aren't you? Where's your man? Why isn't your man protecting you here? Again, I know this upsets people. It doesn't upset ladies. Ladies love this talk. They love because ladies, they submit to their man, and they're safe, and they feel protected because they are. Feminists, they hate this. They get really upset with me. Feminists do not like the truth. They abhor the truth, and that's why feminism is satanic, and it destroys. And so I thought that Tim did a really good job, except for the whole thing about pepper spray. Here's the reason why I'm not a big believer in giving women pepper spray. And it's obvious. Number one, it gives them a false sense of security. It really does. It gives you a false sense of security. I have, and some of y'all know my background. law enforcement. I've interviewed numerous rape victims, and I've seen all kinds of things. And if you ask a female that has survived an attack, especially one that carries pepper spray or even a pistol, a firearm, or you'll hear, this is something that you'll hear out of them. You'll hear one say, well, I went to a particular mall or went to a city or went somewhere that a guy instantaneously knows that's not safe, because that's what men, that is what God put into us. That is what makes us special. We just know that that's not safe. But a woman will say, yeah, normally I wouldn't have done that, but I had my pepper spray. Start listening to women talk, and you will hear that comment. They'll literally make that comment. They will put themselves in a less than safe situation because they have a thing of pepper spray on their keychain. Not smart. Really not smart. So my point of view is, my approach to that is, so what you're saying is, if you didn't have the pepper spray, you wouldn't have done that. And their answer is no, no. Okay, let me have the pepper spray. I got news for you, there's sugar tits. That pepper spray ain't going to keep that guy from raping you. That pepper spray it's not going to. First of all, you're going to be ambushed. So your chances of deploying the pepper spray are 1 in 1,000. If you do make that 1 in 1,000 and deploy that pepper spray, that CS gas, whatever that is, more than likely you're going to get it on you as much as him. Now you're incapacitated. He's really not, because that stuff, I don't know if you've seen some people who get pepper sprayed. I know in law enforcement, I've been pepper sprayed. We've done this in training. Yeah, it sucks. But if I'm bound and determined of subduing someone, that ain't stopping me. It's just going to piss me off. Pistols. There's some interesting FBI statistics. Anybody knows me knows I am no fan of the FBI, but they do keep records. I don't know the exact numbers, so I'm not going to state them here. But the numbers of females that carry a weapon, that have tried to use a weapon, most of the time like a pistol, a sidearm, the vast majority of those instances, the woman tends to be disarmed. Am I saying females shouldn't carry a firearm? I'm saying unless they get a ton of range time in with a qualified instructor. And what I mean by that is somebody with tactical experience, real world experience, that's been in shootouts, for instance. Unless a woman gets, I'm hundreds of hours of range time and stays in practice and continues that training, no, she has no business carrying a firearm. She's just going to get herself in trouble. Because again, and I've heard it 1,000 times, females, they'll just say it. Well, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have stopped and got gas there, but I had my pistol in my purse. Okay, give me the pistol. Give me the pistol. You should have never stopped there and gotten gas at night. Guys, you want to know what's really crazy? Feminists will hear me talk about this stuff, and then they will accuse me of not liking women. This is the insanity. This is the deranged feminist brain. They will hear me talk about this and then say, oh, you're a misogynist. You hate women. Really? Really? Wanting to keep women safe and be willing to be honest about how to do that. Really? I hate women? Make that make sense to me. I'll tell you who doesn't like women is the husband that hears his wife say, well, I normally wouldn't have done that, but I had my pepper spray, so I went ahead and did it. And him not do anything. That's the guy that's the guy. That's the weak, effeminate male who was raised by a feminist mother who's taught him at a young age that women are strong and independent, and you need to let them be that way. Yeah, see the problem here? And so his feminist mother raised him to be a sweet boy. And ma'am, you married a sweet boy. That may be okay until there's a problem. And then you'll figure out real quick how worthless a sweet boy actually is. More truth hurts, don't it? It's painful. We are at a point in this country with all this mass immigration, and believe me, we're seeing it every day. Yes, crime is down because of Trump taking specific actions in certain cities and things like this. But make no mistake about it. Violent crimes are happening every hour of the day, every minute of the day across this country. And the vast majority of the time, the crime is committed by not people of Western European descent. Let's just put it that way. And most of the crime is perpetuated upon people of Western European descent. More truth. And again, it's going to upset a lot of people that are adverse to the truth. Or you can take what I'm saying and go, maybe I need to think about what he's saying and determine if whether or not if I changed my thought process, I might be safer. My kids might be safer. My family might be safer. I don't know. You know, you got to do what hey, you do you. I do me. And like I said, I wish it breaks my heart. It really does. When I see whether it's a young blonde girl on a train gets stabbed in the neck by some subhuman, just coming home from working at a pizza parlor, engaged to be married, and she bleeds out by herself on a light rail train, public transit in Charlotte, North Carolina. Breaks my heart for a lot of different reasons. One of them being it was totally avoidable. 100% avoidable. If her fiance was a man, he would have never allowed her to be in that situation. Let's just call it that. If she would have been submissive to a real man, she would be alive today. That is a fact. That is not victim shaming. That is simply pointing out a fact, the truth. You either accept that or you reject it. Doesn't change the fact that it's true. Because I say it doesn't mean it's true. I'm saying it because it is the truth. See, young ladies, gasoline poured on them and lit on fire. You think I laugh at that? That is It's heartbreaking. That is somebody's daughter. It is. It tears me up inside. It tears me up because it's 100% avoidable. It's avoidable. Is that victim shaming? I don't think it is. I'm not trying to shame anybody. I would just like to see young ladies not be raped, turn into tiki torches, or being stabbed in the neck. That's really what I would like. That's my preference. That's what I want to see happen. And telling them that you go, girl, you don't need no man. You're strong and independent. That's getting women, that's getting your daughters raped and murdered, sir. That's what's getting them raped and murdered. Because real ladies, they know they need a man. They don't feel safe in today's society, in this country, because of mass immigration and all the other issues, whatever. They don't feel safe. So you know what? They let their man, because a real lady's going to find a real man. Let me put it this way. A real man will find a real lady, and he's going to protect her. He will die before something happens to her. And they don't play these stupid, retarded, evil games about strong and independence. And I'm an independent girl. I don't need no man. Yeah, until you're getting raped. That's a little late there, sunshine. Better wake up. I can tell you this right now. Guys, you keep, I don't know how bad I want to. Let's just say this. People need to start waking up. You need to take a look around. You need to evaluate. Ladies, this is not, you're not wired for this. I don't expect you to know it. It doesn't mean you're stupid. The things that you're wired for are miraculous. And without them, our culture disintegrates. But just like I can no more give birth than any other guy, ma'am, you're not the protector. You're not. You need to work on being a lady. When you become a lady, some of you might be a little late. I don't know, but you need a man. And there are men, not many. There's not many men. We are 7 or 8 or 9 generations deep now of moms raising strong, independent girls and sweet boys. And dads and fathers just sit off to the sideline and keep their mouth shut because conflict avoidance is a mating strategy. And they're just hoping to get their, hand job every other Friday. And they don't want to do anything to upset the apple cart. So they allow moms to raise strong, independent girls and sweet boys. And now here we are. Here we are. So I encourage you at any point, if you're a weak male, it's okay. I mean, it is what it is. You better evaluate. If you're a weak male, you can change, but you better get busy. You better get to work. I also understand that family law makes it extremely difficult, if not impossible, to be a strong father and husband. Because with the way our family law system is in this country, and this is by design. By design. It's not by accident. It is by design. I get it, sir. you can't tell your wife to do anything because she could just back up, kick you out of the house, accuse you of whatever she wants to accuse you of, and you'll never see your kids again. She'll take half your shit and the house. I get it. That is the reality in which our culture lives today. So I feel bad for you. I've been where you're at, and it sucks. I get it. How do you what can you do? I get it. We're in a lot of trouble in this country for a lot of different reasons on a lot of different fronts. But, sir, I would encourage you to do anything you can, especially to help your son become a boy, help your son become a man. And you're going to have to get him off your wife's tit. And otherwise, she's going to sissify that kid and either turn him into a homo or a sweet boy, and he's going to be worthless. He's not going to be any good to our country, to our society. It's a good thing that those young men back on December 7th, 1941, were raised to be men. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. We need to get back to that. We really need to get back to that. But anyway, I just felt compelled to jump on and rant, and that's what this was. This was a rant. It was not my intention to piss you off. It's my intention to wake you up. I understand there are certain people that are offended by the truth, get upset by the truth, and hate people that tell the truth. I'm a big boy. I don't care if you hate me. I'm still going to tell the truth. If you don't like the truth, I encourage you to hit your knees, ask Jesus to come into your heart, and get right with God, because you need to hear the truth. The truth will set you free. And I hope that's what you do. But tomorrow we're going to have a live broadcast, the Defiance Daily Show with Roberts and Pruitt. And can't wait. Travis does a great job. Love Travis. Love his family. His father was a great friend. And we lost Dave over a year ago. And I miss Dave. Dave was, he was a man. And I miss our conversations. And anyway, with that, have yourself a great evening. We're in the Christmas time of year. I love saying Merry Christmas. Say Merry Christmas. Don't, man, be bold. Man, good grief, folks. If you can't say Merry Christmas, if you're afraid to do that, praise God for sending his only begotten son. Man. Anyway, God bless each and every one of you. And look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And this is Mark Pruitt, somewhere in Texas, for the Defiance Daily Show with Roberts and Pruitt, signing off.